Okay, class, for the Superman live trace assignment, I'm adding this because there's some confusion about how to stop the flow of paint into the hands. I'm going to go ahead and select him and go into the Superman here, and I'm going to go into Image Trace and let it do its thing. Then I'm going to click up here, and I'm going to come into Live Trace, and I'm going to twirl open the Advanced, making sure I have Ignore White on, and you can see that did a huge difference. I'm going to punch up the threshold a little bit. And I'm going to drop down the noise just a little bit like so. And you can see that by dropping down the noise, it brings in a lot more detail back into this shape. Now I can already see that the hands aren't completely, the paint will probably flow into the hands. I'll show you how to fix that. When I'm happy with this, I hit expand. Now that it's expanded, let me check down here. I'm going to get rid of this junk down here. So I'm going to deselect it and grab my direct selection tool and just marquee over that little bit of garbage down there and then hit delete. Now I'm going to come back and select it. Now we're using Live Paint for this. One of the first things that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a custom gradient for his cape. You must have a gradient in the cape. I can close out the Live Trace now as I don't need it anymore. And then I'm going to go ahead and open up my swatches. And as you can see, since I opened up the graphic without placing it in, I don't have any of my swatches here. So how do I get back my swatches? Well, I'm going to click on the little library here at the bottom of the swatches panel, and I'm going to say default swatches. I'm just going to do art and illustration, and I'm just going to open this up. I'm going to select the first one and shift click the last one. I come over here to the side menu bar and say add to swatches. Now I can close this out, and now I have swatches, as well as now my swatches are up here. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to create a custom gradient. So I'm just going to start with this down here, okay, and I'm going to drag down the red without letting go of my mouse. I'm going to drop it into here. I'm going to drag this off, and so now I have a nice little white to red gradient. And then I'm going to do is take this little swatch here, right here, and I'm going to drag it up into my swatches. So now I have my custom gradient. So now I'm all set to start working on this. I'm going to hit K for my Live Paint bucket, like so. Now it's giving me no, you can't do anything. The reason why is you have to have it selected. So I'm just going to come here and I'm going to go to select all. Now that it's selected, when I hit K on my keyboard, you can see it's activated the Live Paint bucket. So I'm going to start with my custom gradient, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to zoom in. And you have to be careful that you don't accidentally click in here. I noticed some of you actually were clicking inside. You were actually clicking inside this area, and you were filling in the wrong thing. So you have to be very careful where you are actually, where your cursor is. So when I hover over, you can see it's turning red, and it's letting me know, it's alerting me what it's going to fill. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to click in here, and I'm going to click in here. And that's okay if that stops like that, that's fine. And I'm just going to come in here and click. And I'm just going through, I'm not going to worry about those two little things there. Using the space bar, I can move around and I can click inside all these little shapes like so, okay? And in there, and then let's see, over here, I want to get that and that and that and that, okay? Just like that. So that's fine, that works just fine. Now, I can already see that my hands did separate properly, which is great. That doesn't always happen. And if it didn't happen for you, you can do it a couple of different ways. Say, for example, you didn't change your settings in your Live Trace bucket and you just went ahead and went with it. Sometimes the paint will flow into the hand. So to prevent it, you can just grab the direct selection tool, and you can just grab these little points right here, and you can just drag it down like so, as long as no paint can flow in there. Same thing with over here. I can just take it and I can drag it down like so. Whoops. Being careful not to close the whole path like that. The other way you could do it is you can take the pen tool and go like this, and then you could just click and drag. Okay? Then I know for a fact that it's done. So I click here, and I click here, and I drag. So if your paint does flow into the hand, you can very quickly solve that problem by just dragging a line over. So now when I want to, again, I have to do select all, which is Command or Control A. I hit K on to get my paint bucket. And after you look at the video, you'll see how the guy painted this out, making sure that you don't forget the yellow down here on his little boots. I believe he has, I believe he's using yellow here. And you want to make sure you don't have a stroke on that. I don't want a stroke. Come on, you. My thing is acting up here. My computer's been acting up lately. Okay, so, all right, and then I'm going to come over here. Whoops. Now, if you get that, you see where when I clicked it said do merge, just to let you know, sometimes that'll happen, especially when you've come in and edited something while you're in the middle of doing live paint, and this will happen. I'm glad it just happened right now so that you can see what happens. It's wanting to fill it, but then it gives me this merge thing. When you're in the middle of using this tool and you go and do something else to edit and you come back, this is what happens. So when it's saying that, look at up here, all of a sudden this merge live paint button appeared. So I click OK, and then I click that. Once I do that, I'm back to going along, and it's not going to give me that warning anymore. So now I can just come in here and I can start filling him in, depending on whatever color per the video that it has. And being careful not to hit in here, okay? Making sure that you're only filling the areas that you're supposed to, all right? And so now when I come up here, you'll see that because I drew that line, it is now obviously filling in, and it's not going to fill in the hand. And so I'll just pick some random, I don't know, beige color here or whatever, kind of in between. And then up here, I'm going to go ahead and do his face and his neck, okay? Now up here, if you want to do something up here to the hair, you don't have to, but just to let you know, if I zoom in, if I take the direct selection tool, I can just select this, hit delete, delete, it'll take it out. And then since this is all squirrely up here, what I could do is I could just go ahead and select this line in here, like so. Take my pencil tool, which is hiding under the shaper tool. I take the pencil tool, and then of course again I'm going to have to select this. It has to be selected to use this, and I can actually just kind of go like this and click and hold, and then I can just kind of redraw his hair. I could even kind of go like that, right, and give him a whole bunch of hair like so. Then I can go back, I hit K again, and I go back to this color and I go to fill it again. Okay, this time it didn't give me the warning. But anyway, those are just some ways that you can fix it. And if you want to get rid of this, you could just click on it once with the direct selection tool, hit delete twice, it will take it out. Okay? So anyway, go ahead and have fun working on this, but I hope that helps explain some of the things that I'm looking for on this particular project, and I hope that was helpful to you.